It's time for our regular progress update on the Lilly Lebanon Project. Jeff Wagner from Fluor Corporation and Rae Hostetler from Hostetler PR join us. Rae and Jeff pass along project updates, including the details of a second shift set to begin on site. Jeff and Rae also recap Fluor Corporation's participation in this year's Battle of the Barbecue event and the give back effort scheduled for the holiday season. Episode 232 of the Rae and Lebanon podcast starts now.
Welcome to the Rae and Lebanon Podcast, highlighting all the great things happening in Lebanon, Indiana. Have an idea for an episode? Send an email to lebanon@lebanon.in.gov.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 232 of the Rae and Lebanon Podcast. Joe LePage, the City of Lebanon Communications and Community Development Director. We do this about every quarter, and this coincides with the newsletter that goes out, updating you the things that are happening within LP1, LP2, Fluor Corporation, Eli Lilly, all those things. Joining us this time around, Jeff Wagner, the Community Relations and Communication Manager of Fluor Corporation, and Rae Hostetler with Hostetler PR joining us. Now, Rae, you're usually kind of off to the side, don't like kind of throwing in information. You've got the mic in front of you. Now there's pressure to speak this time around.
It's so much pressure.
Well, Jeff and Rae, thank you both for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We scared off Todd. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But wanted to update everybody on the progress that is happening. And it has been previous episodes, Jeff, where we were kind of talking about the weather. Mother Nature is cruel at times, and she was rainy and it was cold early and all those things in previous episodes. I'm looking for wood to knock on here because the weather's been fantastic, and you guys have really been making some hay, being able to get some things done in a rapid pace.
It really has, Joe. It's been an awesome construction season for us pretty much all summer. Been relatively dry, probably too dry for the farmers' liking, but and the wind has not been an issue. Oftentimes we get a nice day, and given all the elevated equipment, the cranes, the man lifts that we have out there, you'd get 20-mile-an-hour winds, and you have a beautiful day and have to shut down outside operations. So we really have no complaints when it comes to the weather, and we hope to continue the same through the fall as we look to get these buildings dried in so that we're ready for winter.
Yeah, and usually about this time in the episode, we'll throw it to Todd for a percentage update. I'm not going to put you on the spot with that, but it is kind of thinking, even though it's an 80-degree day as we're recording today, again, drying in and getting ready for the winter and knowing that the colder weather is on its way. That's what you guys are kind of focusing on right now as you're getting things, as you mentioned, dried in, ready to go?
That is correct. We've got two of the main Lilly production buildings are pretty much dried in or will be in the next few weeks. So we're in great position there. The Central Utilities building, which was the first building that work started on, that's well enclosed. And any gaps that remain in some of these buildings are to allow the modules to be inserted. So some of them are purposely left open and will be throughout the winter. But I know last winter trying to keep buildings heated while you did concrete pours was a huge challenge. But today, I think out on the campus there are like 12 buildings that are in some level of development, and it's really neat to see how the skyline's changed.
Speaking of the skyline and a unique perspective, Rae, before we hit record, you were talking about what building were you on top of, and you were able to see kind of the tank farm that was out there and just the evolution that has taken place, in the last 3 months, you said?
Oh, it's crazy. So there's one building that you can go to the top of safely. And the difference, we do a site video photo shoot about once a quarter. So from June to Wednesday this week, the difference in just when you look down and you see the campus, what's been built, what's been constructed, side-by-side photos, it's pretty incredible.
And we'll tell you a little bit later on in the podcast, everybody, where you can see some of those videos and get a copy of the newsletter as well. Did you ever have, like, in your PR background, just all the number of employees and workers all kind of going around like this? Is it so unique? Do you every day think about, holy cow, that this is just an amazing kind of, I wouldn't say organized chaos, but it's not chaos, but just how unique chaos. It is and how...
it is unique. It is appreciated. I'm looking to Jeff here because he hired us. To be able to be part of something at this magnitude, I would say over 30 years of doing public relations, every skill from the skill set has been used from internal communications to external to community relations to, we call it other duties as assigned.
And I've been with Fluor a long time. This is the biggest project that I've ever been on. So it's just, it's a lot of fun to see how a project like this comes together, and just the details are just mind-boggling.
Yeah, and that mind-boggling continues here with LP1 and LP2. We talked before we hit record, Jeff, that a second shift is now added, so the mark of 3,000 employees has been surpassed. You were saying more than that, 3,200-ish or so?
Yes, between LP1 and LP2, we've got more than 3,200 workers that are on the campus currently. The night shift started in the summer, and it's the type of work where it's best where you have some open space where workers that are doing fireproofing, things like that, where you need some separation, that are better to do with lighter number of workers out in the field. So we continue to grow that area and take on work that's especially efficient to be able to do at the night.
And speaking of efficiency, the roadways that kind of are able to access the side LP1 and LP2, it seems like a lot of that asphalt has been poured, and is that helping to kind of get those 3,200 plus employees, more than one shift, off campus, on campus, in a manner that you guys are happy with?
Yeah, it really has. Gate A to our north is the most trafficked area. We get support from off-duty police officers and all, bringing employees in and out. Workers start arriving even before 5 a.m. To our south, that is getting more used by workers, and we've had good coordination with the state on that as they're doing the interchange project. Just this week, they started work on a new roundabout that'll connect into N150 West, or the south part of Witt. So they've built a bypass for us in order to be able to maintain heavy equipment traffic back and forth there too. So what needs to come in from the south is still able to do so, albeit at a construction work zone pace of 15 miles an hour, which is good for everybody. So we like that, but the road improvements have definitely helped.
I was going to say, and that bypass too has got to be able to keep that southbound, in and out has got to be super helpful as well.
It really has, and I know one of the reasons for the bypass just to the east of the site too was knowing our farmers needed a ways to get back and forth, and we actually had a chance. The last couple of weeks, we had the members of the Boone County Farm Bureau came out, and we talked about sharing the road safely. And we know that's just very important to us. It's very important, obviously, to farmers. And as our site grows and we bring on, 30 to 50 new workers with every orientation class, it's something we want to talk to them about, make sure they're aware of, and really alert to as they enter and leave the project every day.
Number of signs, share the road, the Farm Bureau signs were added, I'm guessing, either before or after that conversation they had with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, again, the Farm Bureau group they were great because they came out before 5 a.m. on a Monday and talked to workers as they came in from the north and south parking lots, handed out hard hat stickers reminding them we share the road, and little information cards that had some tips that they should follow when they come across farm equipment. So again, that just continues the relationship we have with them, and knowing that farm safety is a priority and was a real concern when the project started. We want to make sure we follow through with our educational piece.
And speaking of the concerns, in previous episodes we've kind of talked, and you and Todd have mentioned back and forth communications you've gotten from what you call neighbors, those that live near that construction site. Still having that back and forth communication, and you guys are still meeting with those neighbors, you guys teaming up to help kind of keep those lines of communication open, and that email inbox, if they have issues, is still taking submissions?
Yes, absolutely. They have ways like that to reach me. Many reach me directly, which I encourage. Not everyone's happy with us, and it continues to be a daily struggle, reminder, especially when it comes to speeds and watching your speeds as you leave the site, and being good construction neighbors. So I get calls about speeds and speeding, and we work closely with our security as well as Lilly security, and again get great support from off-duty police. And lighting is an issue too. We've got with the start of second shift and with shorter days coming, temporary light plants sometimes get positioned, sometimes people move them, and suddenly we're shining light out on a neighbor. So making sure that we're catch items like that, get those addressed quickly, and not be a nuisance to someone who's trying to get some sleep.
And full transparency with this podcast that we've done over the years now, several years now, the kill 'em with communication has kind of been our thing, where this is kind of a less formal, kind of open line of communication about things that are going on. Is that kind of the stance that you guys are taking with newsletter and the communication with neighbors, that we want to be fully transparent? I mean, a lot of things that, especially when the mayor sits down, it is a very open and honest discussion, one that you won't get at a podium or something in a formal meeting. But is that kind of what you guys are after as well, just keeping those lines overly open to be able to have the kill 'em with communication, along with knowing that people aren't going to like everything. Not everyone's going to like everything that's going on, potentially
Right.
ever.
Yeah, we feel that. I think the worst thing that can happen is if someone reaches out and you don't get a response, or you don't
Yeah.
have a channel to go to.
Yeah.
So you always do. You may not like what we have to say, and we always try to prepare people in advance for what's going to happen or what we think's going to happen. So that way, if it, when it does, they're not going to like it, but they understand and are prepared for it to come up. Hopefully sometimes it's less impactful than we think it will be. But we do try numerous aspects, ways to reach out. And again, we get great support from Rae and her team, whether that be developing fact sheets, putting out text alerts or email blasts, things like that. So, we do try to a variety of ways and have that regular cadence of communication.
Gotcha. Folks, we're talking with Jeff Wagner. He's the Community Relations and Communication Manager with Fluor Corporation, and Rae Hostetler. She is with Hostetler PR. No pun intended there, because it's your company. On the lines of communication and all those things, if we can kind of hit some of the highlights that are coming out in the newsletter, and Rae, the importance of sharing all the things that we have been talking about in past podcast episodes, the importance of kind of sharing all the info that's going on, not only on the site, but throughout the kind of ripple effect that it's having on our community as well.
Yeah, so there is a quarterly newsletter. It gets inserted into the Lebanon Reporter. The next one comes out at the end of October. What's critical to what we just talked about, anyone who gets that newsletter, flip it over. You're going to find out how to contact the site. So if you have a question, you can email, you can call. We do call back. I always think it's interesting when I call people back and they go, wow.
Can't believe you called.
I can't believe you actually called me back. Yes, we do. And we follow up and we look for the information that they're looking for. It's important to be transparent given the magnitude of the project, and not just the impact Lebanon, but the whole of, I'm going to call it Boone County, even going over to Brownsburg. I mean, this is a lot of people coming in, a lot of new jobs, a lot of, trades people coming through. So it just puts a different, I'll call it, face on this part of central Indiana.
Yeah, and that transitions a little bit. Things that I have on the list here to kind of ask about when it comes to the people. A couple of different things. Lilly is one of their initiatives is getting people on campus. Those of us that aren't, either in the construction phase or any kind of deeper into the Eli Lilly family, taking tours of what we can check out to get an up close look and personal experience with that. How important has that been to the community as a whole, to be able to kind of see, not only from a distance, but getting up close and personal, just to see how things are coming together and how it will benefit our community?
I think tours are important. I know Jeff does too. We just did 2 tours about a month ago with the Boone County Economic Development Corporation. They invited public officials, some of their members, to come through. So, we did 2 groups. One was about 25, the other one was about 10 to 12. There were a few folks in that tour that we have sat with in meetings, and they haven't been very happy about what's going on. Then you see them on the campus, and it's the reality of the discussion that we had at that table. Mm-hmm. This is why we need some help with some flexibility in making some changes so that we can accommodate some of the workers coming through, for example.
Right.
I saw somebody with a big smile on their face saying, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
And Lily's been excellent with encouraging that program and leading the program, in fact. So we'll see more tours, and they'll become, I'm sure, different. They'll evolve, especially as we move from so much exterior change to as buildings begin to be outfitted and become more looking like production buildings and labs and things like that.
And I just to kind of shared kind of my own personal experience, having gone on one of the tours. There was one of the folks that I think you may be referencing, Rae, that was against the project and a naysayer, we'll say. But during the course of finding out what will take place on the campus, it was, wait, that's happening here?
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it was like, this is pretty amazing. Like this isn't something that happens everywhere. This is unique. And it was, we know that's kind of why we're excited about it.
Yeah.
And have you seen some of those kind of the light bulb goes on that,
Yes.
oh wait, this is going to happen. And then I expect it's going to happen tenfold at the foundry of, oh, we're helping to cure things. We're helping to come. This is pretty remarkable. And one of those things that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you guys seeing those more than once?
Yes, yeah. I mean, just the overall what's going to happen at these facilities is pretty incredible for this, part. I always say we're like the last corner of central Indiana to be developed, but what a great something to come here. The impact that it's going to make in people's lives is very incredible. And the impact that it's going to make to Boone County with jobs, we're already seeing the economic impact.
Yeah.
Community giving, the way Lilly has stepped up, the way Fluor has come into a situation to say, we're here to work, but we're also here to give back to community. Mm-hmm. I keep saying, I have never seen a more generous workforce than among the Fluor population.
Yeah. And we were talking before we hit record, Jeff, you guys are adding a sixth, you guys reach out to local and regional food providers, and you guys do a lot of things and we talk about the economic impact, and we'll get into that in a second more deeply. But just the fact that from a strict food perspective, a lot of workers, and they're hungry, and they get a lunch break, and hey, you guys are adding a sixth different kind of location. How does the whole food thing works, and how is it benefiting our local and area restaurants?
Right. So with each of our major construction zones where buildings are being built, you have what we call a node tent there where workers come. They go there to gather for their safety briefing in the morning. They can come there for a break in the morning or lunch, and it's a place to cool down in the summer months. It's a place to warm up in the winter. So on Fridays, we started a program during the summer, Food Truck Fridays. And we had a number of food trucks or restaurateurs that reached out to us, very eager to do business. And of course, we wanted to try and follow up on that. We do have great food service already in the main part of Trailer City and at one of our other locations from the Chop House. So they do a terrific job. But we thought, let's try and reach out a little bit further, do it on Fridays. And it's been great. So we've had 4 of the canteens that Fluor directly runs have been involved in that. Mm-hmm. And now Lily's got some design build contractors that are working on like the warehouse and the admin lab. And they're like, hey, we want to be part of that. And we're like, we can do that. So we're adding a 5th location, in fact, this Friday. And we'll probably add our 6th soon. And then we've got another one of the production buildings staffs up enough and that canteen becomes populated enough. That'll probably be the 7th location there. So we're really excited about bringing on more food providers. We've got a local small business startup that just started providing snacks. And we've got snack machines out there. The folks at We Snack have done a terrific job for us. And they have grown, and we figured some things out about the vending business with them. And so when we're not serving a meal, at least workers can get a snack and get something to drink while they take their break. And
I'm hoping that as you're listening to this, everybody, you're understanding the ripple effect. So not only are the employees, the 3,200-ish employees out on the campus getting great food made by local providers, it's also helping to keep doors open for those businesses in our community and adding unique food providers that are beginning to open their doors now And you'll notice, knowing some folks up in the planning office, knowing that some information will be released soon on even more restaurants that will be added in our community. So unique food offerings for us as well. And so the ripple effect that is being had is another, I think, plus a boon, pun intended, to our Boone County community.
Yeah, I would agree. We also talked a little bit about Crossroads.
Yeah, we've got, and again, we've got a lot of we got, subcontractors that are out there, a lot of workers from the area working, a lot of businesses, a lot of product that's being purchased, but things like in our realm where we buy shirts, where we buy branded items, you get companies like Crossroads
swag,
that are just here.
Yeah.
They are just super responsive, and they help us. We've got a one-site program where it's a safety rewards and recognition, and we often call upon them to help either purchase items that are given directly to employees or brand things, engrave things for us that are then given to employees as a recognition for doing a safe job.
And want to state it again that you could easily do this on like one of those sites that to be able to get $1 a shirt and all those things, but you guys choose to go local. You probably could find the things that you're purchasing and bringing on campus that are based here in Lebanon or you mentioned Ray Brownsburg area. Like you could probably do it on the cheap somewhere, but you guys choose to do it local to be able to kind of help our local economy here. I think it needs to be stated as well.
And we should add, Joe, it's not just local, but it's local and quality.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
These guys and girls are out there working hard. So if you're going to appreciate them, it's not $1 shirt. It's something that is quality that they will keep and they will be able to use, whether it's personally or for their family or what have you, because
Yeah, I think Diane Kokol, our colleague, said it best. She, the vendors we work with, especially Steve, and every order is important to them. Whereas if we ordered somewhere outside of here, who knows how many phone calls it would take to reach the right person, and maybe they wouldn't
call back.
They would not.
So or if they did, it's a week later. Working with folks like Steven, we're working on one particular project, and it was very important to find the right gift purchase. And so he spent a lot of time finding samples that people could try on to sample to make the right decision. Yeah. That's important.
If we can talk about and kind of take the last lap here on our podcast, this is episode 232, everybody, of our 11 Lebanon podcast, talking with Jeff and Rae here about the LP1, LP2, Fluor Corporation, and all things on that portion of the first kind of step in the LEAP district. Some things that are coming up here, you guys are continuing to work with and have augmented something that has taken place within the Community Foundation. You guys turned an initial investment eightfold, and then coming up, as we talked about the weather kind of turning colder and let's hope not icier and windy or that type of thing. Nice fluffy snow, easy to move around and be great. But the toy drive in a church that's nearby you guys and near and dear to the project area, you guys are all working on that as well. And by the way, you guys wrapped up another big time improvement to the Battle of the Barbecue that recently took place in August, helping to raise yet again the highest level that has been raised financially for that great organization.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where we start, but the dominoes keep falling.
Yeah, let's go in order. So the Battle of the Barbecue, it was another
miserable
great
time.
I
mean, you guys had I could see. Just you guys were.
We had a new pit master who we went from, hey, we're gonna just smoke some meat, to one of those beautiful giant smokers that they brought into the park, and we see other people do it, so he said, I'm going to do it too.
Mo Martinez. He's
really
stepped up his game, huh?
He did, and he had a team of people who worked with him, and it was amazing. For the first time, the Fluor Mo team competed, and how they did not win, but they are not defeated. They'll be back next year.
But the Cancer Society folks are so much fun to work with. It's such a great event to be part of. We're just fortunate to be able to, jump in on something like that, as we're next door to Lilly, and then our colleagues at the Foundry Partners were a part of that too. So it's fun that have been able to grow our participation in that.
Yeah.
And maybe grow a little friendly rivalry there within that.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned the toy drive.
Gotcha.
So Jeff had the great idea. So this will be our third year. So 2 years ago, to partner with Hope Church because they're on the south side. They have a toy drive for families in the community. And we just said, hey, let's see if people will donate toys. And they did. And then last year, the amount of toys and also cash donations from trade partners was so incredible that the folks at the church were able to expand into the community and support WIC families. That's pretty amazing. So let's do it again. In November, we'll start collecting toys from workers. This is an on-site worker drive.
Okay.
So there'll be collection bins all across the site at turnstiles. Trade partners are invited to either donate toys. We've already had one contact us saying,
Right.
when is the toy drive? Because we're starting already
Oh,
to
yeah.
collect toys.
Yeah.
Cash donations, and then everything will be loaded into trucks, driven over to the church. We do have Santa on site who will accompany us over to the church.
Looking at Jeff like he's starting to grow his beard out, maybe.
Yeah, it's not Jeff. It's not Jeff.
I know it's Santa. I know
Santa
it's Santa.
Comes.
You said Santa.
He comes and he helps bring everything over to the church. It was so incredible last year. The people at Fluor, I said how generous they are. They were so inspired by this program. They went back on their day off on Saturday with Santa, and Santa greeted families and pulling up, and they helped with the toy drive on that Saturday, just giving back their time because they wanted to.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty incredible. And then the third thing I think is key to know. Last year at this time, Community Foundation made an announcement about the Lilly endowment match. So we had a conversation and said, well, we've been, thinking about opening this fund at Community Foundation. Initial Fluor donation was $10,000. And what we did, everyone's heard about the parking lot. The parking is big. It's like going to Kings Island. So we auctioned front parking spots.
That's hilarious.
Those are very popular, trust me.
Yeah, as someone who's parked a little bit not on the front row, I'll say.
Yes. And the auction dollars go to this fund. But what we were able to do this year is for every, let's say, $1,000 donation, Fluor will match 25% through its corporate fund. So now you've got $1,250. And then through that Lilly endowment match that expires at the end of this year was matched 3-1.
Yeah,
so we took
incredible.
$10,000 and turned it into a fund
of
over $80,000
right now.
And we have asked the team at the foundation, let's use those dollars at grants committee for capital improvement projects, because you always say, do you want to give an organization something like toys for kids and diapers for infants, or do you want to buy HVAC? Everyone gets pulled on the heartstrings, but if an organization's HVAC doesn't work, they can't supply the toys and the diapers. And Fluor being a construction company, it just makes good sense.
There's some good synergy there. Some
there
good
is.
connection.
There is.
Yeah.
And information on that. Now, you mentioned, is that just Fluor employees that are doing this, or is this something that the public can jump in on as well if they take a look at the newsletter and want to get involved in that way? Is that sole?
Fluor Fund is the Fluor Fund.
Yeah.
So
Hence
it
the
will
name.
continue
Gotcha.
to auction the parking spots. We just wrapped up the last auction we do it by quarter.
Okay.
For fourth quarter this year. Top spot went for $800.
Yeah.
Which is worth it if the weather's
If you've
going
been to the
south.
parking lot.
And I'll say that the best spots, if you get there after 5:30 a.m., are taken. And I get in about 5:30, and I park about 2/3 of the way back. And pretty soon we're gonna max out on both the north and south parking lots. So those things are really gold. So it's fun to see.
But I do say, Jeff, on days like these, I just park in the back and you get to go walk.
Get your steps in. The weather's
That's
nice.
exactly-
And then I don't
Exactly.
have to work out at the end of
Windy,
the day.
icy, snowy, maybe a different
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Call me later, Joe.
Well, guys, as we wrap things up, Rae, you said it earlier, the copy of the newsletter that is on the desk in front of you guys, that's going in newspapers, that'll be pushed out. We'll put it on our website as well. Can be
Correct.
accessible that way. So some of the things we're talking about, you're able to see on the graphic I put together, everybody, but also in the newsletter itself. And you mentioned that there's on the backside, further down the page, when you see it online, everybody, the QR code, the contact info, all those things, you can read about and see the things that we've chatted about, things that are going on. But then if you have an issue or looking for a job and all those things, you're able to do that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I would also, if people do not get, which you should get the Lebanon Reporter, but if you do not get it, you can also go to the site website and sign up, because we also push that out electronically.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. And I'll put a link to that, everybody, in the body of the podcast. So if you need that, you can just click on it. You can subscribe and then have it sent right to your inbox
Correct.
as well. Perfect. Well, guys, Jeff, Rae, thanks so much for being here on the podcast. This time's flying by, isn't it? Seems like,
It
this
is.
is just rocking and rolling here. But we appreciate you being here and your perspective and pass along all the info.
Thanks, Joe.
For
Thanks,
stopping
Joe.
by. And thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 232 of our Love and Lebanon podcast. We'll bring you more episodes in the future. Take care.